Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs Show. Happy Tuesday morning to you all. Hope you're all right. Hope you're all okay. And the week treating you as well as it possibly could do. We'll be talking about a bonkers old report that came out last night surrounding Spurs and their interest in Arnaud, not too sure how to say the name, Kalimuendo. We'll be talking about that. Interest re-emerging in Roony Bardghji, the Copenhagen winger. Xavi Simons, really interesting news about Xavi Simons wanting to leave RB Leipzig, and we might have a bit of valuation as to what that would look like. We'll be talking about Vicario to AC Milan. There you go. There was the other one. There's 4 things that we're going to be talking about today. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I think, the market itself, and obviously it has truly reopened fully for the summer. Yesterday was the first day of it. Thomas Frank obviously being announced and all those factors that go into, FFP, PSR season ends at the end of this month and obviously restarts for the next year for football on July 1st. So I think there's a lot there really that could be happening in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, teams that are nervous surrounding the FFP, PSR thing, they're probably going to be panicking. So let's jump in and let's start with Arnaud Kalimuendo. What a name that is, by the way, first and foremost. I'll get that one out there. What a name that is. Now on Kalimuendo, it came from yesterday from Loic Tanzi, who put it out for Tottenham have decided to accelerate talks with Rennes for Arnaud Kalimuendo. You're probably going, Andy, I have no idea who that is. I'm not even going to blame you, to be honest. But Arnaud Kalimuendo is a Rennes striker. He's 23 years old, 24 in January. Last season, he played 34 times. He scored 18 goals and had 4 assists across Ligue 1 and the Coupe de France. He actually only played 1 game in the Coupe de France, but did score in it. So take that away. In Ligue 1, he had 33 games played, 17 goals, and 4 assists. His contract expires in 2 summers' time, in the summer of 2027. And like I said, he is an out-and-out number 9. He's played a lot of football. He hasn't actually played a game for France yet, but he's played all up the sort of youth teams of France. He's played 156 times in Ligue 1. He's scored 53 and 18 assists. So call that 1 in every 2 games for a goal contribution. He's played in the Europa League, Coupe de France 12 times, both 12 times actually. For Rennes, he's played 112 times. He's scored 40 with 14 assists. So again, call it 1 in every 2 games for a goal contribution. 65 times for Lens, 21 goals, 6 assists. So just over 1 in every 2 again for that. Sort of getting an idea as to what Kalimuendo is all about, style of play and things like that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know tons about Kalimuendo. Anyone that sit there and tells you they do is either a Rennes fan or they're just lying, to be honest, because I don't watch Ligue 1 football a lot, right? The sort of impression that I have gotten is direct. That's the first thing. Is kind of the feeling with this sort of deal. He's very direct runner. Gets the ball with back to goal as well and things like that. And looks to then take on the centre backs or fullbacks, whoever it may be. His link-up play, I believe, is quite underrated. From everything that I've sort of seen, I didn't think I'd have to sit here and watch a guy that I didn't know existed yesterday afternoon to now having to watch a lot about him. It looks like his link-up play is underrated. Gets on the ball quite far away from goal at times as well. Looks to link-up play. Looks to play wingers in behind. That was the big one. Putting in players in behind was a big thing that I sort of witnessed from this. And yeah, like I said, is a decent finisher. His goal catalogue is somewhat mixed. It's not all just right foot tap-ins. There's, there's all sorts. So yeah, I think, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know a ton about him, because I don't. I've watched competitions, I've watched some highlights. There's some things that stand out, but again, highlights can be very deceiving. I mean, Tanguy and Ndombele is probably an example on that side of things. Transfer market value at 22 million euros. I would assume for a guy who scores 1 in every 2 in Ligue 1, and see where Rennes finish in Ligue 1 this season. Ligue 1 24 to 25. Rennes finished. Oh, that's not. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. So I guess 1 in every 2 for a team that finished 7th is quite a. It's quite an impressive feat, to be honest. I don't think that's something that we should scoff at, you know. Missed some people. Say good morning to Spurs, Graham, Sean, Steve, Adventurous, Steve, Callum, Mikey, Joshua, Paul, Milton, Steampunk, Jason, Kookaburra. How are we all? Good morning, all. Good morning, all. Yeah, I look. You would assume this would be the Richarlison replacement. There is more and more interest in Richie that seems to be growing. And I think that would grow even more in July. Like I said, due to the financial fair play ending its year on June 30th, July 1st, obviously being a brand new year, teams have got a bit more of a slate to work in. They've got a lot more time to make sure they comply and get deals done if they are one of those teams that is a bit more on the border of, you know, passing over into breaking FFP and PSR. So, you know, I think teams like Everton, who next season are going to have a bigger stadium, a brand new stadium, it should start to make them a bit more money. You know, they've cleared off a ton of players off the wage bill, players who were earning, 100 plus grand a week for a team sitting, where they sat. And it's smart business. I know players like Calvert-Lewin's have been there a long time, and Decore was decent for him, but if they're costing over 100 grand, you're going to probably want more bang for your buck. So I think, players like Richarlison or, Basuma have been linked to Everton, or Solomon has been linked to Everton, actually. I think Kyle Walker's been linked to Everton, actually, as well. Their scope to do more business July 1st will start to ramp up. So there you have it. Moving on, though, because we've got more to talk about. Rooney Bardghji flavoured news. Tottenham, Marseille and Porto are in a race to sign Copenhagen's young talent, Roony Bardghji. That came from Nicola Shearer, who I've been using quite a bit recently. Actually, he has a lot more hits than misses at the moment. Now, look, we've been linked with Roony Bardghji before. This is nothing different for us. Obviously, he had himself that big injury. I can't remember exactly what it was. And there's always going to be that nervousness to take on a player who has had such a big injury. He's played 6 times this season. He's played 243 minutes, no goals, no assists. And look, totally get that he is a bit of a wonder boy. His contract expires in December of 25. He turns 20 in November. A part of me does kind of go, steer clear. The big injury scares me. And yes, it may be a free. And yes, he's CAA based limited as well, which Spurs love. That huge injury that you had, let me just get exactly what it was. So to give you an idea, a cruciate ligament tear, which basically missed all season. He's had another injury. So he came back for all of about 5-6 weeks and then got injured again. So, I mean, this season, sort of since April 30th of 2024, he's missed 53 games. Knowing Spurs and knowing how we have been really for multiple years, it's not just an Ange thing. I think it's more of a, Conte had these issues as well. We can't seem to keep players fit. And having a squad spot taken up by a player that has the ability to miss a enormous amount of football. It just isn't worth the risk. And look, it might come back to bite us in the backside, that he turns out to be an unbelievable player. I totally get that. But at the same time, is it too much of a risk to bring him in thinking once you've done your ACL once, you're more likely to do it again? It's never going to be back to where it was previous to the injury. I know it's a free and people will go, but he's free. And I've obviously, as you guys know, you've been here long enough. I've explained it so many times that even though it says free, it's very, very much the opposite of a free transfer. It never is free. The impact of the Premier League, the pace of the Premier League, the physicality of the Premier League just makes me kind of go, this isn't the move. Now, before the injury, I was excited. I liked the player, but if you're going to have such a massive injury, you've missed so much football in the last year, just over a year and a third, 15 months, you've missed, over 50 games. It's like, not with the players that we already have at the squad, at the club, who we deem injury prone. Like, they'd make Rooney Bardghji's time missed over the last year and a half would make those players look like Iron Men, So I think for me, you guys might really like him. I know there's a few of you that do. For me, it's steer clear of this one because I just don't see the value in the Roony Bardghji move. Joshua, mate, how are you? No more injury-prone players. There you go. Sorry, a little bit on Grealish. I've just spat all over my mic. Apologies. Apparently, Spurs are now not expected to enter the race sign Grealish. That makes me think that because obviously they would have an understanding as to what the deal would look like. I reckon Man City have told them the deal and Spurs have gone, that's not even remotely close to what we'd be willing to do. There's no point. The hassle, the aggro, there's no point. Like I said, with Grealish, I wanted like a year-long deal, a loan deal, obviously. City would obviously have to pay half of his wages at least, because he's on 300 grand a week. But if that's the case, I know City wanted to sell him and they wanted like 50 million. And it's like, I don't know how you could even demand, even with English tax, he's not worth 50 million. So, yeah, I think, it makes sense that we've sort of gone elsewhere with this. It's a shame. I'll always have that thought of Grealish as a Spurs player just makes too much sense. But the ship probably has sailed completely now. This would probably have been the last summer that we might have engaged in it, but the ship has sailed. It may end up that City will sort of lower their demands because they can't move on from him. Because again, you want 50 million for a guy who's basically 30 on 300 grand a week. Cool. It's not going to happen. It just isn't going to happen. I don't know what team would be stupid enough to do that. I don't even know if Saudi would do that. I think even Saudi would go, we're not going to give you that. We might take his contract off you and sort his wages out, but we're not going to give you 50 million, So there's that. Raspberry and rhubarb again. Very solid. Very solid. I recommend it. Like I said, it's good for weight loss. Those things are good for weight loss. Sonia, how are you? Not gonna lie, Andy, I'm very happy if Grealish doesn't come to Spurs at 29 years old. I would prefer to give someone 24, 25 and give us more than 2 years before he starts to decline. Summer fruit. I'm still drinking summer fruit squash. Just between my post-gym smoothie and my next meal is normally about like 4 hours. So I'm quite hungry in that time. So drinking a sparkly drink fills you up a bit more. The bubbles fill you up a bit more. So that's why. Still drinking some fruit squash. Don't you worry. It's still there. Moving on, though, from the Grealish side of things. Some updates on Son. All right, we'll come back to that in a minute. I want to talk about Xavi Simons. No, sorry, I want to talk about Vicario, I think. Do I want to talk about Vicario? I want to talk about Vicario. Let's talk about Vicario. So obviously, I'll give you a bit of a backstory to this because I think there's more to this than meets the eye on Vicario. AC Milan are interested in Vicario. It came from TBR Football. Again, most of that time, that's coming from Italy. Okay, that's not coming from Spurs. On that though, on Vicario, the reason is Mike Mignon, the goalkeeper. He is out of contract next summer. Chelsea have been trying to work deal for John Joe Kenny. That's it. They're trying to work on a deal to try and get him ahead of the Club World Cup. By the way, the Club World Cup, massively embarrassing what I'm seeing out there at the moment. 70,000 seater stadium with 22,000 fans there. You're not even filling a third of the stadium. Players need a rest. Players can't play football 365 days a year. They need a rest. That tournament is an embarrassment, by the way. It's an absolute embarrassment. But less said about that than better. On Vicario, again, they are probably losing Mike Mignon this summer. They're going to probably move on from him because they can't agree to a deal that they're happy with. Milan, I think, are having a bit of a clear out, if I'm honest. You know, they were looking at potentially moving on from Theo Hernandez. It looks like Atletico Madrid are going the Andy Robertson or Luca Digne route, which, by the way, if Romero wants to go and play in a back four with Luca Digne and Clement Longley, who are both the Aston Villa defenders last season, and were, you know, I don't mind Luca Digne, but Longley's no good, in my opinion, then have at it, Romero. You aren't winning big trophies at Atletico with that defensive line. You're just not. And if you are, you're winning it with 12% possession, and that's just miserable, lads. Also, you're loved at Spurs. You're loved at Spurs. There's my ploy to sign him. Me and Simeone can have a little fight outside the stadium. Me and him can go at it. But yeah, on Vicario, I don't see Vicario leaving. I think, you know, when I bring in the Son stories in a minute, the leadership team is a 4-man group, right? So you've got Son as the captain. You have Christian Romero, who's like the number 2. The number 3 and the second vice captain is James Maddison. And obviously number 4 is Vicario. Now, if there's a situation where you may lose Romero this summer and you may lose Son this summer, then you're not going to lose a third out of the 4. I think the amount of people that kind of go, we can do better than Vicario. Vicario, fine, if you think that, not a problem. I'm not going to deny you that. If you think that's one of the pressing issues of this team, I implore you to look at about 4 or 5 other areas in this team that we need to work on before we get to there. So it shouldn't be something we're thinking about at all, in my opinion. Let's worry about the areas that need real work first before we start to move on from our number 1 goalkeeper, shall we? Again, I will fight this battle to the day it gets solved. A left back is way more important than getting a bloody keeper, selling a keeper. Improving the attack is way more important than just a keeper. You know, people that want a number 6 or a midfielder, it's more important than a keeper. A centre-back is more important than a keeper. Worry about the others and things in front of the keeper. The keeper will take care of itself. Now, look, in a year or two's time, you might have a conversation to have. But right now, there is no conversation for me because guess what? You're not signing 7 or 8 players this summer. You're just not doing that, all right? Let's be realistic. 4 to 5. And within those 4 to 5, a keeper is nowhere near that. So he won't move on. Not at all. I don't think Vicario is going to move on. I think this is a bit of a dead end. Now, maybe next summer there might be a demand. But obviously, AC Milan, no offense, AC Milan are a bit cheap. They're a bit cheap. They, you know, I don't think they're going to want to spend the money on Vic. Because if you let's have a look at Vicario. What I want to do is just find out how many years left on his contract he has. So he's got 3 years left on his deal and he's 28. So he is probably just entering his prime as a goalkeeper. No. They won't be able to afford that. Because also, do you know what the beautiful thing is? Italian tax. Because when we buy English players, if we bought an English player from the Italian league, there'd be English tax on it. Well, if you're sending an Italian player to Italy, whack on the Italian tax. You know, it may not be as much as the England tax, but you can definitely whack on a few extra million for sure. Because if you're sending to an Italian team, why not? But yeah, no, I'm not interested in Vicario leaving. I think that would be a silly, silly mistake. Right, come on. This is good. This is cracking. Sit back, relax, and just absorb this information I'm about to give you. All right? It's not Heung-Min Son news. It's Xavi Simons flavor news. This is from The Athletic. So David Ornstein works for The Athletic, by the way. So this is one of the big publications, all right? Xavi Simons has told RB Leipzig that he wishes to leave this summer. Leipzig broadly accept that this might be the right moment to part ways, but are determined to resist offers of below 70 million euros. So call it 65 million pounds. Pull the trigger, send the money. You know, Klopp's running Leipzig at the moment. Say to Klopp, Jurgen, Guten Tag, you know, Brautwurst, whatever else you want to say to him. I'll have that Dutch fella, please. Thank you very much. You want to resist 70 million euros, plop down the 70 million euro bid. You can make it up with some add-ons and things like that, but the more I have sort of thought about Xavi Simons, the more I'm sold. The more, and look, this could turn out to be wrong. Hey, I was wrong on Rafinha. I could turn out and get this wrong. Please don't listen to me and think that I'm going to get this one right, okay? Because let's be honest, I'm probably going to get it wrong. So if I want Xavi Simons, you should probably not want him because it'll work out for you. But no, in all seriousness, super talented. He's got a ton of experience for his such young age. I'm all over this deal. I'm all over this deal. Obviously, look, if Thomas Frank was like, no, he doesn't suit me, I wouldn't want him, then I won't want him either, Thomas. I have to back you in what you want. You're the manager. This is your job. It's not my job. Okay? I sit in front of a camera as one of the jobs talking to you about Tottenham. I have no impact on Tottenham Hotspur. Zero. The same as any one of you, right? Xavi Simons, though. You know, Wonder Kids, before Wonder Kids became a real big thing a few years back, you know, Barcelona, La Masia, Wonder Kid, goes to PSG, still a Wonder Kid, kills it in the Eredivisie, kills it in the Bundesliga. He's in his young 20s. You know, he's going to be brilliant for another 10 years. I'm just all over this. I'm just all over this. I really am. I think also value for money compared to some of the other like big names that are moving this summer. I really, really do think value for money compared to some of the other ones is probably about right. Bring it on. Can Levy leave instead? Bring it on. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Donna, you're right. Do you think we will have Simons? Look, I think we have a chance to get Simons. Absolutely. We are interested in him. We've been linked to him. It's been announced the Spurs are interested in Xavi Simons. The fact that the Athletic have said he wants to leave, it's another domino to fall. And here's a bit of an evaluation that Leipzig wouldn't accept anything less than that. Now you have an idea to kind of go, right, we know what we're working with, you know? I'm so on board with a Xavi Simons move. I'm so on board with it. I like, you know, maybe a lot of you maybe haven't seen a lot of Xavi Simons. I recommend you going to watch a little bit about him because I think he's a superb player. Big money move. There's always a risk, but there's a risk even if you sign Eze. There's a risk if you sign Mbuemo. There's a risk if you sign Semenyo. Any other big name that we've been linked to for big money, there's a risk to it all. It doesn't always work. But this is one of those, there's so much upside. I'll be honest, the upside of Xavi Simons is bigger than every player that we've been linked to this season. That's how big of an upside he has. In his young 20s, he's getting 25 goal contributions a season in the Bundesliga, and it's not for the best team. It's not even for the top 3 team. He's in the sort of the next tier of teams of quality. I'm just saying. I would love Xavi Simons. Bayern aren't looking at him because they are looking at Eze instead. Your family in Germany. Simons has talked to renegotiate his contract. Don't know about that one anymore, Chief. Not if the Athletic are saying it. You kind of have to go, ooh, take notice of that. He'd be really good. Glad signed Tell. They want another £6 million. Yeah, well, it's like 60, 65. I think you can get him for about 65 million. Which, look, is crazy money in the world. Like, if someone offers me 65 million, you wouldn't see me again in life. I'd vanish. You know, I'd live on a remote island and just, that's where I'd be, right? But in football, 65 million, 10 years ago would have been crazy money. Now it's like, well, you know, every team sort of makes a move like that, you know, yearly. Man City did it in January alone. They did it again in the summer. You know, so, I mean, Florian Wirtz is 120 odd million. You know, Barca, who are broke, bought Rafinha for 70 million. So it's like, nowadays it's not mental, you know. You can test the waters with 55 plus add-ons. Maybe. I think you probably need a bit more on the upfront side of things on the 55. It'd have to be at least starting with a 6. Any sign of a left back yet? Don't. I'm very much worried about the fact we still aren't linked to any left backs. And maybe that changes. You never know. New Andy channel, Beachside Spurs. Yeah. Again, I don't know if I'd do that. I don't want you to know where I am. I've 65 million. 65 million. I'm gone. See you later. Dragon, how are you, mate? Marshall, how are you? So look, there's that on Xavi Simons. I think I just think, you know, this is one that we could get all over. Is all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. Right, let's talk Heung-Min Son. Gary Jacob has said that Tottenham are willing to sell Son Heung-Min or Heung-Min Son, but most likely only after the South Korea tour, which I think is somewhat on paper logical, right? I think with obviously the South Korean tour, you want the South Korean rock star. You've got games to play out in South Korea. It would make a ton of sense on that regard, but it's always difficult because I flip flop with the Son thing because, like I've said about sell a player a season too early than a season too late. Son's one of those for me. It's like I'm struggling with this one because I absolutely love Heung-Min Son or Son Heung-Min. It's one of my favorite players that's ever played for Tottenham. It's probably one of your favorite players for all of us that's played for Tottenham, right? And it will be, I think, compared to Harry Kane, the sadness that we will feel when Son leaves will be much larger than Harry Kane. You know. Yeah, but I guess at the same time, if you feel like the trajectory of Son's career is that he is starting to hit the back nine, but hit it in a way where he's starting to really start to fall off, then you need to really be open into the idea of, you know, cash in, get some money out of him, and look to reinvest. You know, would I stream from my new island? I genuinely think I'd just vanish. I don't think any of you would know anywhere that I lived or did anything. 65 million, I would be gone. I don't even think the CIA or the FBI could find me, or the MI5 in England. I don't think any of them find me. I'd see you. 70 million euros, 6 million pounds, so you can get a deal. Maybe. So this, unless it's more than 40, it's working to Mersul. Yeah, no, look, with Son, I think the idea that, like, Turkey have an idea that they can get Son for cheap, I don't think Spurs are going to give them the night and day. With Son, it would have to be good money. Would have to be good money, you know? So, what we'll sort of say. Dente, how are you, mate? We have ways and means. Yeah, I wouldn't trust them. The Aussies would have a different way of going about it because the CIA and FBI are going to be using planes and things like that. The Aussies just go, if you open enough cans of Guinness or you pour enough pints of Guinness, he'll probably turn up somehow. I'll be lured in like a mouse twitch to mouse trap because you put cheese there. You know. Aldente, how are you? I think if you can get, look, if you get 40 million for Son, you really have to be sitting there going, lads, it's 40 million for a 32-year-old. If it's 20, no, I wouldn't. Do you know, I just wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother. But they're well, Man United, huge signing. They've agreed a new deal for their third goalkeeper. Oh, nice one, lads. Still panicking about Mbuemo, by the way. Rent bloody free at the moment. Spurs are in their heads. But look, if Turkey want him, and obviously, what is it, Jose at Fenerbahce? If Jose wants him, by all means, lads, why not have him? You need to make an actual offer though that's credible, because this idea that you're going to get him for 20 million, look, good on you. I wish I was 6'4". Neither of which are going to happen. So, you know. Is he more likely to go to Jose in Turkey or Saudi? I think Son would prefer Turkey, but if Jose's not going to offer a very credible offer, he won't be going. He won't be going. Office day today, not so bad. Have we signed Ravella yet? Nah, not yet. We're close on Leandro Damião, though. That's good news. We're close to Leandro Damião, I've heard. My sources. Is he still a Premier League winger with double-digit output? Yeah. Absolutely. So, Son, injured for the majority of season last season, still got over 20 goal contributions in the Premier League. If we had a 25-year-old who did that, right? Let's say we kept Manuel Solomon, and Manuel Solomon had done that last season, you probably would have had like a situation where people going, oh, that's pretty solid. Or Matisse Tell, you go, whoa, my God, what a player is coming up. Because he's older, everyone goes, oh, that's not good enough. That's crap. You know, it's like, but it's not, though, is it? You know? Son to AC Milan, where if they can get out of the João Felix deal, they are getting out of the João Felix deal, I think. Son in the Serie A would kill it. Absolutely kill it. If you watch the Serie A, it is one of the slowest leagues you'll ever see. It's one of the slowest leagues you'll ever see. So, yeah, he'd kill it in the Serie A. Shall be getting a Son on the back of the black kit with the Europa League winners on it. Oh, decent. Yeah, I might need to get some new kits and stuff like that once I've moved. Keep this one though, and that one. These two are mainstays, but in a new setup where you maybe have a bit more space, you know, for the camera, obviously. More Spurs kits would be good. That'll be really nice, actually. Need to keep that, obviously. But yeah, Sampdoria's team to watch next season. Sampdoria, I'm pretty sure, are in Serie C. I think Serie C they are in now. Morning, Daniel. Still morning. I had to double check there. Get a Son kit. Yeah, maybe. Should I get a Europa League trophy as well? That would wind so many people out. I've got a Europa League trophy, wouldn't it? The rage bait would be chef's kiss. But look, that's that on Son. We'll have to wait and see. If that's the case, then do you know what? It's not going to be happening anytime soon. It just won't happen anytime soon because it'll be after the European tour. Yeah, Sami Mutbell saying the same thing with BBC. Oh, yeah, João Felix was on loan. I've just seen something. João Felix was on loan. Apparently, Napoli want Grealish and Garnacho. So something connected to us. Obviously, we've been linked to Garnacho as well. Looks like Napoli in that market. I think Napoli will get Garnacho. They were interested in January, weren't they? And so are Chelsea, but Chelsea have kind of distanced themselves a little bit. But I think Napoli will end up getting Garnacho. Morning, Ed. It's the perfect football manager save. Say less. Say it less. DH Gate trophy, AliExpress. I just absolutely love the fact that everyone goes, "Oh, there's new kit is there." Right, DH Gate. Let's load that up. Aodiza, you all right, mate? Liam, how are you? Napoli want Nunez as well. Well, Napoli will have money to spend. Obviously they've still got the Kvara money they could probably spend. Osimhen, they'll probably try and get the money out of him this summer. So they'll have some money to spend. They could do it. They could definitely do it. I think Jonathan David's still a bit quiet. I think he's still going there as well. I think Napoli could be in for a really good summer this summer. Conte will still be miserable about it, but that's just because he's a miserable human. We do need another defender. We need at least another 2 defenders, to be honest, mate. Because we need a left back. We need a left back. I'm going to shout it from the mountaintops. The world of England, sorry, the country of England, Ireland, Wales, and Scotland will all know that Spurs need a left back because I will shout about it until they sort that. Unless they think Destiny Doggy can play 3 times a week and 60+ games a season, which if they do, I love your positivity. No, he can't. So, need a bloody left back. Okay. I think we're focusing on attackers for now. Yeah, they'll look, I don't mind them focusing on attackers, but you need a left back. Got to just give it a pause for dramatic effect. Haven't you heard, Andy? Spurs are a left back free zone. I'm about to go to war with Spurs hierarchy, aren't I? Going to get banned from all football games going forward for the rest of my life, but we will have signed a left back and that will be worth it. Let's go start a FundMe page. Daniel Levy would like that. Say again, is Kalimuendo thing real? Well, it's not from terrible sources. Let's just say that. We'll keep an eye on it. Yes, Borussia Dortmund in the Club World Cup today. Enjoy it, Jacob. Did David get essentially his left back? Don't start this with Don't start this where he's a left back. I don't know why that's been sent to me. Anthony Robertson, yeah, we're not going to get him, in my opinion. Can't have a left back, Andy. Levy told Andrew we can't afford it. Seen people suggesting we get Kirkin back. Yeah, I don't think he'd leave Sunderland when he's going to be starting week in, week out in the Premier League for them, Choose one. Mbeumo, Eze, Xavi Simons, Rodrigo. I don't want Rodrigo personally. Do you know what? Whatever Thomas Frank wants, I back what Thomas Frank wants. He's the manager. We need a left back. Paul, I know we need a left back. All right. I'm trying to keep, shouting it and manifesting it for the hierarchy to see, But they're trying to make it difficult for me because I'm going to hammer home the point of, hey, we need a left back. And they will try their best to go, no, we don't. Give over. I'm so fighting them on this. I will fight them on this. We need a left back. I guess the left back market, though, will take a bit of a change, obviously, with finding out, obviously, Aït-Nouri's gone to City. Atleti are looking at left backs through Digne and Robertson. So I think once there's been a few moves, I think the land of the market will start to sort of show itself. But we need left back. There you go. Fair enough, Jacob. What is a left back? Don't ask Johan Lang or Fabio Paratici. They haven't got a clue. Wait for someone to go, actually, Fabio Paratici was one that signed Destiny Doggy. Shut up, you freak. Tyreek Mitchell's a free agent. What? He's linked to someone. He's linked to Atletico as well. Atletico basically just want a Premier League left back. I swear, if they even think about trying to go for Destiny Doggy, because they'll go, oh, Destiny Doggy. They'll go, yeah. They'll go, oh, we really like him. We go, all right, but we're only offering 6 million because apparently that's not what we do with transfers. We really offer about 10% of what they're worth. Oh, okay, thanks, Atletico. Great. Been told United giving up on Mbeumo pursuit. I don't know anything about any. I know nothing about Mbeumo. There's no news on him. There's no news. But if you listen to Man United content creators, they are absolutely having to change underwear every hour of the day. We saw him on this century. What do you expect? I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I refuse. If Chelsea can have 3,000 wingers, then I can have 2 left backs. All right? I can have 2 left backs. That's all I want in life. How you finding the Club World Cup game so far? It's crap, mate. It's crap. I mean, yesterday there was 22,000 fans at a 70,000 seater stadium. It's crap. Players need to be resting and recovering after playing 60 plus games a season. With international football, some of them will play over 70 games this season. Pre-season starts in a few weeks. If they go deep into this tournament, they pretty much are going to get about a week off. And then guess what? They're right back to it. No, it's crap. It's a money grab by FIFA, who are upset about the UEFA side of things, and they're trying to make money back against UEFA. I've not watched any of the games. I'm going to be real with you. I've watched none of the games. I've, in a weird way, feel like I need a bit of a detox from just the sheer volume of football. Also, watching England the other week has just annoyed me that football exists, because we've managed to make Albania look solid and Senegal are a world-class team, neither of which are true. So, yeah, the Club World Cup is just crap. It's just crap. That's all it is. Thoughts on the trade of Vic? No. Keep Vic. I think, is there someone at my door? Football detox is good. Spencer for left back too. Right, hang on. False alarm. False alarm. False alarm. No. No one's up my door. We're all okay. We can all breathe easier now. Archie Gray can play any position as well. Don't even start this with Archie Gray, all right? Who's taking over? Well, Tom Brady's technically the closest to the seat, so I guess he could sit in the seat for a bit. Review and his chair empty. Calling me lazy. You calling me that I never leave my chair? That's unbelievable, Ray. But yeah. I mean, look, by the way, just sort of back to sort of round up some transfer news. I think with Son, it'll be after the tour. They're not going to risk it. Pre-season friendly versus for the Spurs under 21s versus Leyton Orient. Good stuff. Yeah, it'll be after the tour. Xavi Simons, there's an opportunity there. It's an opportunity there. We'll have to see how that goes. With Vic, I don't see any substance in it. Kalimuendo, we'll keep an eye on that one, because look, that sounds like it's the most prevalent deal at the moment. That's sort of come out of nowhere. No one said that we linked to him beforehand. Roony Bardghji, I think let's keep clear of due to the injury concerns that I have for him. Grealish, obviously. Grealish, yeah, looks like we're going to be done and not in there as well. Do it, Joshua. Go to the game if you can. Why not? Simmons would be a good signing. You're damn right, Peter. You're damn right. But we'll sort of see. We'll sort of see. Look, I need to go back and do some work before my manager decides to call me and have a chat about what I've been up to today. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, you absolute bloody legends. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. All the comments, all the likes, all the subscribes, you absolute bloody legends, every single one of you. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Jacob, enjoy the football, obviously, Dortmund game. Go and enjoy the rest of your mornings, your afternoons, your evenings, wherever you are in the world. And I'll speak to you all very much soon to talk a lot more about Tottenham. Take care, everyone. Peace.